Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Growth Class. I'm your host, Phil Masiello. And on this show, we love to look at the massive shifts happening in retail and e-commerce. And there's no industry seeing a bigger boom in the premium space right now than pet care. Modern pet parents don't just want food for their dogs. They want clean, honest, premium nutrition. My guest today is right at the center of that movement. I'm joined by Dewar, the driving force behind Gaines Family Farmstead. Now, if you're a pet owner, you know how hard it is to find treats you actually trust. Gaines Family Farmstead has completely disrupted the space by going back to basics, creating premium 100% natural, single and limited ingredient dog treats, starting with their insanely popular U.S.-grown sweet potato chews and bones. But what makes the story fascinating from a growth perspective is how they managed to control their quality while scaling. They didn't just outsource everything. They built a farm-to-shelf story with their own local sourcing and food-grade manufacturing. So we're going to talk about scaling a family brand, navigating the hyper-competitive pet industry, what it takes to win on the retail shelves today. Dewar, welcome to Crunching Your Growth. I appreciate
Appreciate it,
you taking
Phil.
the
You be careful. I'm gonna have you on some of our live streams to do my introductions, man. That was great. uh,
Yeah,
Appreciate you
well,
having me on, man.
yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. Why don't you take us back to, the impetus, like what drove you to do it, how you did it, why you did it, all that.
Absolutely. So it actually goes back to my old dog Beam. I got him in when I was a freshman in college. And I guess it was around 2014 or 2015, we lost him to a rawhide poisoning.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's crazy. And like we're big dog people, we've always my dad's family raised dogs, bred dogs. We've always had several dogs. And when we lost him, it was like, what are we feeding? It really kind of lit something in me. So I really started paying close attention to the health and wellness of the pets and like specifically looking at what we were feeding. That was like 2014. My background, I'm in branding and marketing. So I worked in advertising agencies. And so I had a customer that was in the pet space and I really fell in love with the pet industry. Realized how difficult a time I had to find really well sourced, um, well made products, single ingredient, nutrient density, and decided that I would quit my very comfortable advertising career, much to my dad's chagrin. I think he's okay with the decision now, but I quit that job and decided to start hand making sweet potato dog treats. About 60 days after I quit my job, I convinced my brother to quit his job. We opened up a little 700 square foot garage where every morning we'd go to farmers markets. We would buy locally grown sweet potatoes. We'd take them back to the warehouse. We'd hand slice them, literally like hand slicing a raw sweet potato. I don't know if you've ever tried to cut a raw sweet potato before, but they're hard as a rock.
yeah.
And then we'd make about 30 pounds. We could make about 30 pounds a day if we cooked 20 hours a day. And then we'd go to farmers markets at night and dog parks and hustling little independent mom and pop shops. Here we are. I quit my job in October of 2016 and we launched in February of 2017. So we're now at almost 10 years. We're an omnichannel business now. We're sold in several thousand stores around the country, ranging from Phil's Corner Dog Store to we've done business with Costco. We're sold on Amazon, Chewy, and really have had one of those grassroots Americana experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm a dog person, and I was fanatical. We just lost my oldest dog about a month ago. He was a Great Pyrenees a hound mix, and I was fanatical about what I fed him and taking him to the vet and trying to be proactive. And he wound up, no matter what, he wound up getting cancer and just didn't make. But we made it to 14 years. But
But for a Great Pyrenees, you must have been feeding him really well then.
yeah, I know. I was trying to get him to 16. I thought, 16 would be a good one, but I get so attached that it's devastating for me because it's not just I don't look at my dogs as pets or dogs, they're really like children, Petey I used to take everywhere. I had a business and I had a warehouse, I had offices, and from the time he was like 8 weeks when we got him until, I mean, I used to take him to the office, I take him to the warehouse, took him everywhere. I went so far as to get what do you call it? Uh, uh, Therapy dog tags or service dog tags, and so that I could take him. I literally could take the dog everywhere, and I did, and people just used to laugh about it. But I think dogs are fantastic. I had on my show this guy Joe Rothley who founded Greenies,
Hmm.
and he had a great statement. He said, "I can exist without a dog, but I can't live without a dog." And I think that's just a great way of looking at it.
And yeah, you said it, and kind of one of my early thesis, or one of the founding theses is of the whole business is dogs are family now. There's the dog that sleeps outside and eats table scraps. I mean, I have friends, millennials are crazy about their dogs. They're having less children and more dogs. And I have friends that are spending $200 a week on a dog just for their food and their nutrients. So it's a really interesting market, and dogs are family, and it's continuing to grow. The whole entire industry is continuing to grow, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic because people have started really focusing on what they're feeding their dogs and their cats and that whole nutrition cycle. Uh, because before you had treats like milk bones and things like that. And no, nothing against milk bones, but it's almost like giving your dog candy. So it's really not nutritionally significant. But if you're going to give them,
Wheat candy, enriched wheat candy.
well, and it's like we never gave our dogs those kinds of things. We looked for products like yours, and I looked at the package, and I'm pretty sure that we've used them in the past because it was, we're looking for something that um, is a treat, but at the same time, it's not going to be a negative effect on their health. Like my dogs loved cooked broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green beans, things like that. So, and they like those for treats, but you just can't give them so much. And then we would get others, and we were careful about the food we gave them. And here's a funny one, and my kids will attest to this. We moved into another house, and that house had a well, and I am a city boy. I was born and raised in the Bronx. I don't know anything about wells, but it's just got a septic tank and a well. And I said, "You mean to tell me that my water is coming from the same ground that the septic system is in?" And my wife is like, "No, don't worry." I was like, "That's not going to fly." So I had this filtering system put in for the well, but then I went further and I put in, this other filtering system just for water for the dogs. Cause I said, I'm not going to give them, crappy water. And my kids were like, "You don't care about us. It's got a separate spigot. This is just for the dogs. You don't care about us. You care about the dogs." I was like, "Well, you can make your own decisions. The dogs can't."
There you go. I mean, that's a perfect example, and it goes back to like the humanization of pet as a whole. It's interesting. I have a friend that's in the pet hydration category, so he is making like specialty waters for dogs. It's like, bro, people, yeah, people, dogs are family. I mean, it goes back to that foundational principle. There's like they're no longer the dog on the chain outside eating table scraps. It's just not the case anymore.
No, thank God. And
Yeah.
no, you know, you got you've got people making, memory foam beds for dogs, memory foam beds with heat or cooling, right? Because my dog was a long-haired dog, didn't like the heat, it preferred the cool. So you get him a bed that's got cooling, and yeah, it's honestly it's just I treat it mentally. It's just, to me, it's like I treat it the same way I would treat a child. I
Dogs
do
don't talk back like children do and are always happy to see you, I get it. I get it.
exactly. They're always happy to see you. They don't talk back. They do whatever you ask them to do. You tell them go out and kill that chipmunk, they kill it. So yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting category. So So yeah, I mean, scaling this business, like you said, was sort of a grassroots, bootstrap type of thing. Really, how did you do it? Did you, was it a plan, or did you just go out and just hit it?
Yes, yes, yes. So if you look at line one of the business plan, it was build a brand and sell it in 10 years. We were about to hit the 10th year, and we're on a rocket ship right now. And it's like, okay, I've kind of got this figured out, and I can see the next evolution of the business. But there was some rocky years. So we started out with a manufacturing partner in South Alabama that was making fantastic product for us and willing to work with us on smaller order quantities. They went out of bid. The two brothers that owned it got in a fight. They shut their business down. Then my brother and I had to figure out how to hand make dog treats. We were profitable in the first like 90 days of business until we had to figure out how to hand make treats and the chemistry behind it. And um, then we got to a scale where it's like, okay, what are our core competencies? And at the end of the day, I'm a marketer. I tell folks all the time, we're a sales and marketing company with an incredible technology stack that happens to sell dog treats. Um, and so we said, okay, principle here is we outsource everything. We find the best manufacturers in the country, we find the best supply chains in the country, and we outsource all manufacturing. And that's what we've been doing successfully since 2000, late 2018 is when we really started outsourcing 100% of our production. We now work with 7 different factories, 4 in the United States, 4 abroad now, so 8 different factories all around the world. We do 100% of our sourcing. We don't use any sort of intermediary to help source or manufacture any of our products. So we know the farmers that are raising some of these crops. We know the distributors that are selling the meats. We know the guy that's supplying the turkey out of Ecuador for turkey tendon. I mean for turkey legs. And then we know the manufacturers. I can literally every single company that we work with is a family owned operation. I can pick up the phone and I can call the owner and I can hash out a problem. And I think, so to get back to your question, I think foundationally that has been what has made us so successful at scaling is because we picked the right partnerships and we stuck very, very true to our foundational principles of like very high quality and an excellent supply chain. And outside of just the normal hurdles of running a business, we that has really helped us. Like I can pick up the phone and call a guy that raised 20 million ducks a year and say, "Hey, I need 50,000 duck heads in 2 weeks. Can you make that happen?" That's having those relationships. And then what I've learned in the pet industry is this is all a relationship industry. Um, Took 5 years for people to be like, okay, Dewar's not going away. Let's give him a shot for some business. And then by year 8 and 9, they're like, damn, Dewar has this thing figured out a little bit. Let's give him more business. And here we are. We're growing. We're doubling year over year right now, and it doesn't look like that's going to slow down anymore.
Yeah. I was on a call with a guy the other night, and we were just talking about business. And I said, people were entrepreneurs sometimes, because I coach a lot of entrepreneurs about how to scale. And I said, they always think about their product is the business, but the product isn't the business. The systems are the business. You don't scale the product, you scale the systems. And then the product just becomes what it is that's driving the system. And, it was a great conversation, but it's so true. And like what you said, we're a sales and marketing company with a tech stack, and we just happen to sell dog treats. If we took dog treats out of the equation, we could do it to sell almost anything.
So you said system, and um, this is a conversation that I've had many times. I see our entire ecosystem as code essentially. We have inputs and we have outputs. We have customers that place purchase orders, and we have supply chains that have more purchase orders. adding new products. A year ago, we had 25 products. A year and a half ago, we had 25 products. We now have over 90. That will dip down and go back up. I look at this as it is a system. We have the software developer, the manufacturer that writes us a line of code, sends us product. We have an internal system, an internal set of operations to bring that product in, recirculate that product, and ship it back out. So we talk about this internally all the time. That it's just a systems of inputs and outputs. Managing the relationships is really the hard part, right? The rest of it is order and ship, and systematizing that is especially when you're as omni-channel as we are. Like if you look at, we sell into 7 different channels essentially, or 7 different types of customers, and so the systemization of that uh, has has been a big leg up for us, and like ability to scale for sure.
What are the 7 different channels?
Yeah, so we sell
You sell direct to consumer.
direct to consumer, but we have, so I consider ecom. So our website is one channel, okay, and then I consider live selling its own channel. This is its own channel for us. So that's Whatnot, TikTok, Talk Shop Live. It is growing so fast, and we can talk about that more if you want to. I consider that a channel. We have direct to retailer. So that's small independent retailers that are placing $200 to $400 orders. We have direct to distribution, which is distributors placing orders from us and then them selling into retail. We have a uh, off brand, so that's TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls. And then we have Amazon, which is its own channel in and of itself. And then we have bulk big box. So that's the Costco's of the world.
Right. I got you. So you're looking at every I got you. You're just looking at every, piece of it as a separate channel.
Well, and the reason, and this is why I talk about the systems, is the reason it is because each one of those has a specific need and demand. Costco, they order by the truckload. It's a different system that we have to follow. TJ Maxx, different system. It's easy to ship out. We recently went from shipping 20 ecom packages a day to 250 packages a day. That is a new system that we've had to develop entirely. So we have to segment these really, really specifically, especially as we scale, because we're adding more and more people to the warehouse and more and more people to the team. And so each channel has its own system within our overarching system.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand what you're saying because we did when I founded a beauty business 20 years ago, 20 actually a little longer, and we founded it on the shopping channels, which is like HSN, and then we were in Canada, and then we were in Europe, and that's a very specific way of marketing and selling your product. I
Absolutely.
thought it was great learning because it's very applicable today, which helps us to guide people because you're essentially, selling live via camera to, to customers telling a story, to get them to buy that product. And which, it's sort of, we also did some stuff on DRTV, but that's a little bit different. But I think it's very applicable today to like what you were talking about, Talk Shop and TikTok Shop and all. Because
Listen, we're seeing it is so hard to create a 7-figure line of revenue in a consumer packaged goods business. And in less than a year, Whatnot alone, one piece of the live selling channel is a 7-figure, revenue stream for us. You get paid tomorrow. And to your point, people crave the connection. Uh, AI is going to continue to deteriorate consumer trust. I think we're going to see a huge evolution of people wanting live engagement. And listen, I can sit down here. Last night I did it. Sat down and we did $1,500 in revenue in 60 minutes and had 30% of those purchasers were brand new customers.
But you did that on TikTok or you did that on
Whatnot. We did that on Whatnot. Yep. Whatnot is it's a machine. I scream it from the roofs. Everyone needs to be paying very close attention to these live selling channels. I
100%.
That'd be
That's what's
huge.
killing that, that's what's killing QVC and HSN or these live selling channels. And I agree with you 1000%. You know, these people that are using AI and think AI is the salvation, and they're creating fake content, disingenuous content, so much so that the FTC has to step in and say you're going to start getting fined for making fake content, fake UGC content, all that. You're 100% right. The consumer is looking for a connection to the brand. They want to know who they're buying from. So, 100%. Whatnot, absolutely.
Yeah, I believe this so fervently that I turned off all digital marketing in May of 2025. So no more Meta, no more Google. We spent over a million is a seven-figure a year ad budget. We turned it off 100%. That's how much I believe. And also Meta and Google are raking people over the coals with their, I mean, customer acquisition cost has become absurd. My customer acquisition cost is now relatable to time. How much time can I get someone to sit behind this camera and stream to people all over the country? It's a time equation as opposed to a cash allocation equation. Customer acquisition cost goes down to how many minutes a show, how many new customers per show, what's the cost of that show. It's absurd. We speak in a whole new set of metrics in our office, and it's all revolving around this live shopping experience.
I agree with you 1,000%. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, we came up in the shopping channels, and I loved that business because you are truly through that camera making a connection with the end user. They when we used to go down there, they would just obviously the primary audience were female, and they always used to talk about she's looking for this, she's looking for that, and you get on there. I wasn't on. We had this woman, Carol Alt, she was a model, supermodel, and she was a founder in the brand with us, and she would get on there and just start talking, and you could just watch the metrics as they explode, and then I'd go running out there with signs for her saying, hit this point again, because it got the phones ringing and it got the website going. And so it was great. And we do it now with we help a lot of our clients to make videos and to get on some of these channels like Talk Shop, TikTok. And it's amazing to me how many founders are afraid to get on camera. They're afraid of it. And I sit there going, it doesn't matter. Like, the more mistakes you make, the more authentic you become,
Yeah.
and so it's
So you said something that everyone needs to hear very clearly. Authenticity. All right. So I did probably 40 hours of streaming. And finally, one day, my brother and I were in North Carolina and we had had a couple of beers. And I was like, hey, dude, let's do a stream. Let's do a stream. Like, let's see if we can, let's see. I had the product with me. We were on vacation and we turned it on and we did our first explicit show ever. Well, if we dropped an F bomb, like it was part of the show, and we exploded. The number of viewers exploded. We were being ourselves. We turned off the sales. We told our story. No one can tell it better than us. And now we're doing, I mean, the numbers are huge. The numbers we have a corporate partnership with Whatnot now. We're working with TikTok. I think we'll do more revenue in live streaming next year than we did as an entire company last year.
yeah,
That's how fast it's growing.
I couldn't agree more. People are especially the under 45 generation. They are looking for authenticity. They're looking to
Bingo.
connect. And we try and get these. We have a client who makes a great, unbelievable product. Unbelievable product. I said, you have to just get on there and talk about your product. Cause so and she could tell us, like, if we were on a call like this, right? She could sit there and tell us all about it. But the minute you put her live on a camera, she froze up. So what we started doing was we started doing it without telling her that we were doing it. And we would just get on and say, look, we have to have a conference call. Here's what we have to talk about. I just want to know from you because we're going to do this and this. And she's like, okay, she'd get on and she'd just start rambling about the product. And then, we'd get off and I'd say, you just did X
There's our
hundreds.
30-second clip. Thank you.
Yeah, you just did X hundreds of dollars worth of sales. What are you talking about? I said, well, we streamed it out onto TikTok. And so like, here's what happened. It's like, I said, this is why you have to do it. And then, we put her through sort of a training. One thing I learned about the shop, in the shopping channels, they had this training before you went on. And we just sort of copied it and updated it. And we started giving her some training. And now she goes on all the time and she does it a couple of times a day for short intervals. And I mean, it's phenomenal for her, it's just amazing to me how so few people are afraid of that camera, man. They're just afraid of it.
Well, and it also is it's a I mean, when you enter CPG and you're learning retail, you don't just pick it up overnight. It takes time to understand how all of
Sure.
these parts work. And okay, so here's how much I believe in this. Last Samford University, we went, and my cousin Chandler and I went and taught a sales and marketing class. We
Yeah.
brought our entire live stream setup to the class, and we did live streams in front of these sales and marketing classes. We just had our first 3 interns leave.
Did
We now
live
have 2
streams
more.
of did live streams of selling your product or did live streams
We
of the
were
training?
in their class selling on Whatnot, and we were doing big revenue. And we were like, look, we're looking for 3 people. I'm trying to do 30 hours a week of streaming. I'll come teach you how to do this. We're ready for you immediately. We had 3 guys come in. They did all spring. We have 2 girls in the warehouse now. We're teaching another class at the beginning of the fall semester. They're starting to look at teaching classes around this. It's going to be huge. And I mean, just look at what they're doing in China. I mean, revenue. Like last night, we were doing uh 7-second sudden death auctions, which means you have 7 seconds to bid on it, which means, and this specific product, and I don't mind sharing it, this specific product, we make about 5%, I mean, $5 net as long as it sells for $8 or more. And we were selling every 7 seconds for 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. It's the best cash turn tool. You get paid tomorrow. You're creating content. You're creating relevancy for AI. I mean, every aspect of it is so powerful. I'm just sorry, I've derailed us to talking about
No,
live
no, no.
selling.
It's a great conversation. I mean, and you're 100% accurate. And I love video selling. I loved
Yeah,
it when I fell in love with it back in the early 2000s when we built a beauty brand. We did DRTV. We did a whole bunch of different things. We try and, I'm a big believer in not doing static image ads. I'm a big believer in trying to figure out how to get off of Meta, how to get off of Google, because I agree with you. Meta to me is a piece, I have my own feelings about it. I'm not a big fan. And I think that the whole platform is just destroyed by fake AI
AI.
bots and just garbage that's on there now. And people are spending money still. Any client that we have that does this, we try and guide them into, if you don't want to do live stuff, that's fine. Let's do connected television, because that at least I can control that as well. And you're going to get a better return. But, spending money on Meta ads and Google ads, it's just like so last century. No,
It really, I mean,
I'm
it,
with you,
it,
man. I'm
it
with you.
is so antiquated. It's hey, numbers are down. Meta's numbers are down this quarter. Let's just hike the customer acquisition costs across the board 7%. It'll make up the 3% deficit that we have. Like, it's as easy as that, like,
God, yeah.
give me a break. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I'm done with it. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I hear you. Well, we ran over a little bit, and that's okay.
No
Just
problem.
tell me how can people get in touch with where they can buy your product,
Yeah,
where they can see you.
absolutely. So you can find us on gains.pet. That's our website, gains.pet. We're sold on Amazon, on Chewy. Come check us out on Whatnot. We were the wildest show on Whatnot. If you click explicit, it's going to be a crazy show, but it's. I'm being dead serious. We love Whatnot. We're available on TikTok. We have a couple of big announcements coming over the next in the next 60 days or so, we'll be making some really big announcements. So follow us online. You can find us on Instagram, all those places. But uh, find us on the live streams because we're doing so much cool stuff in pet right now and doing a lot of very very unique items that really are geared towards the health and wellness of our our pets.
That's great, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And I thought it was an awesome conversation. And yeah, it's great. I wish you the best of luck. And I'm going to start tuning into your whatnot just to see what you guys are doing.
We have an intern's first show ever at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time today, Phil. So I'm going to hopefully look to your first show this afternoon.
I'm going to go in now. It's a half an hour from now. So, all right, man. I
Thanks,
will.
brother.
Thanks. I'll see you.
Yes, sir.